Right, stand by episode 22. Stand by Nicoletta, please. Nicoletta and episode 22, go please. So, if you just heard that, what's happening? We have a special guest today. We have Nanny Tish, who, which you've only ever known as. Actually, that is so far away now. There she is. But actually, you can see her legs. So, Nanny's here because. And she's being socially distanced. We're being very good. She's totally socially distanced. But before I start, I'm just going to show you Steve's cockatoo. And I'm going to splash on the Clarins. But it's so... I've put the camera so far away that I can hardly reach it, right? Just slap this on. Nanny is looking very... Come here, Beth. Splash it on. Right, okay, so here we go. So let's just move Nathan. Let's just move Nanny. Here, her just moving... Liz out of the way, because what happened was, so Nanny today, she's been on her own for 9 weeks now. She's been 9 weeks, right?
That's a long time for Nan.
We're going to keep turning these over, Beth. Black and white down here. So 9 weeks now. She, as you know, the classic lines have been, "I'm having lettuce in my sandwich today." That was week 2, I think. That was the big news. And there've been various things. Like last night, you heard Nanny made her bed, and it was interesting because she said she's put a sheet on. And then she turned the sheet back and added a blanket for a chill. But what's really interesting tonight is we were talking about her Waitrose delivery, okay? And we were talking about Waitrose, and Nanny Tish started taking me around the shop virtually with her own mind. So I was just saying, we went to the click and collect, and she started saying, well, when you go into Waitrose, you go in and on the right, there's the papers, isn't there? And then there's the flowers. And then if you go, I mean, the cafe will be shut at the moment, but if you carry on, it's normally the televisions. Anyway, it went on. We went, to go around to the candles, Mum, and then what's the next? You go round. What is it? She's not talking now.
China.
Oh, it's China.
China.
And then, not the country.
It's
like bone china.
No, China. Table mats.
Table mats. Yeah, it's table mats. What is it?
Mugs.
Mugs and table mats. And then what do? We go around the corner a bit more, and what happens?
The fresh salad and veg.
Oh, fresh salad. I thought there was something before that. You were quite adamant, because I went to fresh salad and veg when I was talking about. No, Julia. No, I think you find it's cards.
Clothes?
I think, children's clothes.
Children's clothes.
Silly me. So good. So what's happened today overnight? Now I haven't been able to print it, but Uncle John messaged, because he skipped all around. Okay, he skipped around the episodes, and he's only basically listening out for himself, but he's missed loads about himself. And he messaged to basically put me right. Okay, so he said, I've got to find my notes. Oh no, I haven't written it down. I'll have to remember
Magpie.
it. He said, so Mr. Magpie, I casually said about how, now magpies don't evoke in me, oh, what a lovely magpie, what clever things they are. It evokes in me Pete and John Doffert, say, oh, good morning, Mr. Magpie. In actual fact, he has written to correct me. He said, that is in fact not the correct greeting. And I'm sure if Pete's listening, which he probably isn't anymore, but if he is, he'll agree. So apparently, you have to actually doff an imaginary top hat to Mr. Magpie and say, good morning. Oh no, what's the actual phrase? I've got it on my phone, but I daren't touch my phone because it turns the bloody camera
off. Isn't it, good morning, Mr. Magpie,
and
they take their top hat
but
off?
But it's much more posh greeting.
Oh,
good morning to you, sir.
Oh yeah, it's something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, but it's much more, but you're actually not just saying it, you're actually doffing a top hat, which is quite prolific to a magpie. Otherwise the world falls in. And what you also do, he said, if you're in company, you have to do it. You have to do it silently. So if you are with someone, he said, you can doff your virtual top hat, but make it look like you are slicking back your hair. So some of you might know this, the whole thing about good morning, Mr. Anyway, apparently he was in a meeting in Sutton and got, what are you lobbing at me?
Windows.
Oh, windows, sorry. This is the window pile over here, Nanny Tish.
Alright.
Nan's not been able to watch any of these because I don't know when it's on. And I said, well, it's
She's
on.
like her with Joe Wicks, Mum, isn't it?
Joe
she
Wicks.
doesn't know when that's
We
on.
sent Nan the links to Joe Wicks so she can do some exercises in a chair, but she said, I don't know when that's on. It's like, it's on YouTube, it's on all
Oh
the
no,
time.
she does exercise, Mum. She does that, but she does it with her
Yeah,
body.
you've got your little pedals, haven't you?
I can use that tool.
She's bought a little pedal thing. It's only a little...
£179 worth.
Oh, really?
Is it
Right.
that much?
Good grief.
God.
Matt would have made you one out of two old
No.
casters. But he, so Nan's got this little thing where she sort of sits in her chair. She pedals like that. I've got this, Joe. I don't need to go out on a bike. I've got this. But sadly, sounds like you've only used it, twice? Was it that? So once you've done it with us, and then maybe once when we were with you.
Yeah, just a demonstration.
She did it on Zoom one time.
So you did a demonstration.
Darren.
You did a demonstration. So anyway, so anyway, Uncle John was in a meeting. He's really intelligent and really high powered, like John. And he was in a meeting in Sutton. He said, I like the textual detail of that. And he said he saw a magpie out the window and had to go, oh, good morning, Mr. Magpie, with his virtual top hat on. And a colleague caught him doing it. The person who's having the meeting with caught him doing it and just thought, right, what's a nutter? So he's been exposed. But he did write to me quite vehemently to say that. And yes, and also... I'm so cross I didn't print it out. For some reason, again, it's the classic thing, Commodore. It's the classic thing of me trying to print something and it didn't bloody work. Still happy socially distancing over there?
It's getting very sauna-like.
It's very hot in here, but we can't.
Open it.
I've cracked the door a little bit for you. Not too much. We don't want the neighbours to hear what absolute murder goes on in here. Anyway, so I also have to say a big shout out because Arig, I changed your name the other day apparently. Arig, I called you Arige. I was jazzing your name up. So Arig and Rowan are isolating along the road to John, who's doffing his cap, doffing his top hat, I beg your pardon. And so Arig, sorry, I changed your name, babes. But the joy is apparently your crocheted dungarees that Marie's made.
Oh.
Do you want a pair?
Would you like a
Do you want
pair,
a pair?
Oh,
Marie,
definitely.
did you hear that voice?
I
Did you
did.
hear? She went, ooh. Crochet dungaree shorts they are. Anyway, they apparently, Arig has said, like, they're over the moon because they're just kicking back. I don't think they wear much else. I think you can wear bras and stuff with them if you want, but I don't know whether the girls are. But apparently they're very comfy and particularly cooling. So if you want a pair, Mum.
We can definitely ask Marie tomorrow night, Nan.
Yeah. So we've got, we'll crack on with that.
I'm not showing my face, am I, Mum, when I'm leaning?
You're not, are you showing your, you're showing your, I tell you what you are showing, your ample bosom. So we might get different sort of viewers now. But apparently, so John, I'll get the email about that for tomorrow, the formality of top hat and get the right phrase. But he also said that Marie, the love of his life, his partner, his delight, has said that she hates all birds, every single bird, and she says to them, this is how normal they are in Cambridgeshire, she tells the birds that they should have all died out with the dinosaurs. So that's where we are up there. There's me thinking that everybody loves birds and I'm going to introduce everybody to a bird sound. And actually, up in Cambridgeshire, whilst crocheting, which is a very peaceful occupation, you'd imagine someone who crochets is sort of at one with nature, like yarn, wool, sheep, llamas, right? But in fact, she's actually wanting to set, right, Beth, I can see your face and your breast.
I'm trying not to.
What turns out is that, because you're socially distancing from Nan, yes, but we're seeing every conceivable part of your body.
Well, you might have to just turn those around then.
So you're going to have to do something. I'll tell you what you can do. Move the yellow up there.
Up to here?
Yeah, because that doesn't mean any stretching or any page 3 stunner. Because this is all about the hands. That should be in the DVD highlights.
I'm actually getting hotter. I've got a hot dog on my...
You're hotter than a hot dog.
Don't have the doors.
I bought this. So what I did bring, I bought this in to show you. This is the. You're a very good audience. This is exciting.
Very good audience.
Our first socially distanced audience. This no, that's not for you. This is what Matt's been wearing on his bike rides. So I just thought, he doesn't know that I brought that in. He doesn't know that I discussed this because he doesn't watch this.
Also, can I just say that is my headband?
And actually, it turns out that is Bethany's headband. So I've just brought that in. Look, Nanny, there's Steve's cockatoo.
I love a cockatoo. No, in Australia, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you love them. No, but it's just funny on every level, isn't it?
Is that Steve?
No, this is Steve. This is Steve. He's Australian, and he wears a shark's tooth because he's wrestled a shark. And he's an audio guy. I have to speak in Australian so they understand.
Oh, right.
So
because Wendy and Wayne don't understand much.
Whereabouts in Sydney?
He's in Sydney.
Oh, I love Sydney, the fish market.
Nanny loves the fish market. Anyway, but Steve, he has had he's got a shark's tooth because he actually had a wrestle with a shark and survived.
Did he?
Yeah. And
Did he lose any limbs?
No, the shark lost his tooth. But he was telling me, because he was telling me about koalas, they have chlamydia. So Steve can smash dreams about animals, but these cockatoos, they ate his deck.
They do, they would, yeah.
Yeah, so when I was relating the story of when you were going in the mornings, going, oh, look at the birds.
Yes,
and actually then you turn around and the house was gone.
No, the chap said he didn't feed them when I wasn't there because
they eat houses. So, although Mum did have a house originally to stay in when she was in Sydney, by the time she turned round...
Kangaroo Valley.
By the time she turned round, the house was gone.
Shut up.
Because she's encouraged so many cockatoos in.
Did you have a house in Australia?
Yeah, but we stayed in Kangaroo Valley.
That's when she stayed with that lovely man, who she spent... What was it? How many weeks were you in Australia?
5.
5. And how much did you spend?
£428.
£428. Okay, so there's a whole episode that we're going to donate to that particular storyline and that particular special person.
RSL clubs and Woolworths.
Yeah, Woolworths and the RSL. That's if people don't know what I'm talking about. Usually, this episode is going to be more confusing. So what other news? Right, so Helen in Wales had her 3-year-old plum tree stolen, as we all know. Right, she had it stolen. Yeah, she did. And, oh, you're right. Corona. Don't come in here with Corona. Anyway, so Helen has her 3-year-old plum tree stolen in Wales. We made some cookies for Matt of Croydon, right? Right?
Yeah, it's quite hot in here.
It doesn't make you cough, does it, being hot? You've got something.
No, it's the dust in this room.
It's the dust. To be fair, it's the dust. But, bear with, because you've only got 12 minutes left to endure this. Anyway, so we sent some cookies. Bethany duly batch baked some cookies for Matt of Croydon.
Does Matt of Croydon watch this?
Yes, he does every night. He's got a big flat screen television. He rang me to tell me he's got a big flat screen television on his chimney breast wall. He catches up with emails. He watches and listens to this.
Nice.
Yeah, it is nice. But we sent him some cookies. They never arrived.
Oh, but we don't know.
Well, we sent them last week and they're still not there. So
because Matt and Svenny got theirs, and I sent Matt in Hove, and I sent Matt Watkins.
Don't say surnames, do we?
Oh no, I sent Matt of Croydon's cookies at the same time as Matt and Svenny.
There's a lot to learn about JigJaw. Right, okay, so what other news? Right, Mum, have you been on the Facebook overnight?
Well, last night, yeah.
The Facebook. It's just a great joy to us because you call it the Facebook. And that's been mentioned in the previous... but then although I spoke to Liz of Brighton the other day and I think it was accidentally, but it was cocky hilarious because she said I was on the FaceTime. So I think it's a bit catching. But I'm going to do some of these black and white bits. This is pleasing. Every day I come in here, Nanny, and say, any minute now I'm going to sort this room out and I'm going to do the jigsaw properly. And to the frustration of everybody that's watching, I haven't done it. But it's been a bit busy.
There's a lot of stuff that isn't yours anyway.
There's a lot of stuff in here. Anyway, so Canadian news. So the Canadians, they're Bianca and Hillary of Canada, but obviously Bianca lives in London and she taps trees for syrup every day and all that. You know, they both wrestle animals and all that. Anyway, they've both been in touch to iterate the recycling that Canadians do. And we know, like the Canadians are obsessed by recycling. When we were living in Vancouver, I remember I nearly threw a cup away in the wrong thing. Oh my God, I nearly got fined. And our mate Robbie, we lived in apartments. No, I say apartment. I was in Canada, so I don't need to do Australia. But we were living in apartments, right? And in the basement, there were all these different... are you saying shush to the dog or me?
No.
What noise was that dog making? What noise was she making?
No, she wasn't. She licked me.
Oh, right.
She's not allowed to lick you.
Yeah, she is.
Anyway, so we were in the basement recycling and there were all these different bins. There's like glass, paper, cardboard, goes on and on. There's an incinerator, and I was always freaked out, and I never knew what to do with genuine rubbish. I had like normal rubbish that wasn't recycled, so I ended up taking it out and putting it on the bins on the street because it scared me so much in the basement. And they have cameras in there and everything. And our mate Robbie got fined $200 for putting a newspaper in the cardboard bin.
No.
He did. He got fined. But Hilary and Bianca just wanted to remind, to be good citizens, to recycle. We do, but obviously it's not as threatening as it is over there. Shaff, Arig. Yeah, so hopefully Arig with a hard G rather than a soft J that I did earlier. I'd like to hear your feedback, please, because you're both really probably the most two of the intelligent people we've got listening to this. Well, to be honest with you might not be listening after more than one. To see what you think about this, because we are trying to get a plan together, Beth, aren't we? So, Nanny Tish, just so you know, because I know you haven't managed to find this excellence on YouTube yet, this is windows. These are the window pile, because there are cocking loads of them. Nan can't. Nan never brings her glasses. So I say, "Well, look at this." She goes, "I haven't brought me glasses." It's like a catchphrase. "I haven't got me glasses." So this is what we're trying to do. A lot of windows on there. So we've got a big window pile, and then Bethany's just arranged the yellow. You can start trying to get those yellow bits.
It's hard, actually, isn't it?
It's what?
Hard.
It is hard.
Yeah. I did say to Mum in the first couple of stuff that she should have started with a 1,000-piece jigsaw and then.
Somebody bought it for her, didn't they?
I bought it for her. I bought this. And
so
I bought
anyway,
1,000-piece.
Okay, so moving on. All I'm just saying is 1,000 pieces is funny, but 5,000 is cocking funny. Right.
Yeah.
So here we are. Okay, so I have got 3 emails from the Commodore of Carl Schultz and
By the way,
Beaches,
then,
but
the Commodore is
don't
Dwayne. Dwayne. I said the Commodore.
we don't call him that anymore.
No,
we
but
only
Nan
call-
doesn't know who the Commodore is.
Well,
so
Nan's
I
going
just-
to catch up, isn't she? Right?
Right.
So the Commodore of Carl Schultz and Beaches, if you go back to the beginning,
Yes.
Tisha, you'll understand, right? Because he doesn't want to be named when he's slagging this off. He wants to be incognito.
Sorry, I didn't.
Well, I've got a big.
Well, I don't normally come in. I don't normally spend a whole episode in
I've
this.
got a lot of debriefing to be done with these two. Anyway, so he wrote 3 emails. The only one I could print is this one, because for some reason the printer decided not to. But as I was saying earlier, it's that classic thing. It either runs out of tone, when you care, it stops. So this is Dearest Darling Julia. Yeah. I have a quick question. Shortly seeing you unbox your new DMs in episode 20, I discovered that Dr. Martin was actually a real doctor. Colonel Sanders, you mean, as in Sanders. Colonel Sanders had never been in the army, Mr. Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Ronald McDonald had never performed in Cirque du Soleil. Is there anything that you thought was real but wasn't? I was thinking of the time that you were show calling a theatre production, but as you checked your monitors, you realised that no one was listening to your cues. Thanks. Well, that's most of the shows I do, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's most of the shows I do. Were you gonna say something then, Nanny?
No, thinking.
Ain't not quite noises, don't you? It's like having a little cockatoo in the corner.
Yeah, but this is quite fun. That I suggested.
It's a good idea having our first socially distanced guest, because in the background there's a bit of and a bit of shush, Betty. Even though Betsy couldn't have been more quiet, there's a bit of a. Right, brilliant. You're now talking to the dog to encourage the dog to do jigsaw, Bethany, are you? What's your plan there?
I was
let
going
me
to see if Betsy wanted to come on and literally do a little...
Let me answer the Commodore's question. What did I think was real? I'll tell you what I thought was real. Was the bloke that I was going out with in Glasgow. I thought that we were really getting on. Funnily enough, he moved to Plymouth. And I was living in Glasgow. And I drove all the way down to see him, upon which he dumped me. So I obviously didn't take the hint that he moved possibly the furthest he possibly could have done to Plymouth, and I thought we were solid. Turns out we weren't. But then he did circus tricks, he juggled and shit. So it was probably a blessing. But I just remember we got down to Plymouth, having a nice time, and then he said, "Actually, you're lovely and everything, but it's just not working." I was like, oh, and then I was completely surprised and stuck about 700 miles from where I was living at the time. So yeah, I think that's possibly, but the people not listening to me is, well, it's a bit like this, isn't it, Commodore? It's exactly the same, me being in work. Beth, have you found the purple bit? You can make these purple bits come together. I didn't know whether to do just a silent episode, just do the jigsaw. So that could go up there.
That. But I don't know. I put that bit there. I don't know if that, because that is that bit. I
A
think.
bit further around then. That might be alright.
Did you mention
Does it look?
we're social? What's it?
Distancing.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've said it about 3 times. Have you got your aids on?
But did you tell them about Southend? People weren't social.
Oh, so Nan has got.
And you can say stuff.
Well, no, she's a bit further away, so I'm just going to reiterate.
Yes,
So Nan's got a bit of a face on. She's going, I can't show my face, but she's doing a bit of a disparaging look. Because although we are social distancing, and Nan came round the side entrance, as she likes to do, round the back gate.
I've never done it before, no.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but you came round the back gate,
Yeah.
didn't you? And you kept completely apart from us, and we're quite pleased with our social distance because you've been on your own for 9 weeks and think, chatting about the way round Waitrose is a normal chat, right? So it's good that we've got you out here to chat normal conversations. But now, did you see those in Southend? They're not social. A bit cross, aren't you? You're a bit miffed about it.
Well, we're all doing the right thing.
We're doing the right thing, and then there are others. It's always the way, though, Tish, isn't it, in life?
Yeah.
You're going to get those good people. It brings out the good and the bad in everyone, doesn't it? Well, it's a bit like David Dickinson. What would we do without him? How is he? How is he? Because this guy always does the right thing, doesn't he? Like on Dickinson's Real Deal, he goes and helps those people, yeah? He comes in the back and goes, oh, you need to get £25 more for that. He's a good guy. So in coronavirus time, I reckon the Dickinson is smashing it. Do you know what I mean? That's Florida now. Mum's gone all quiet now. She's. I tell you what, you're going to be on the Facebook tonight, aren't you? And the YouTube. So when are you doing your peddling tonight? Probably not. And is it one of those?
It's clapping tonight, isn't it?
Oh, it's clapping. That
Clapping.
is tiring. It's clapping
I
for the
know,
NHS.
it's
How
lovely.
long do you clap for?
And I've got to get my dinner.
Got to get your dinner and the clapping.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got a busy night. You've got your clapping. You've got to get your
How
dinner.
long do you clap for now when you go out on
Yeah.
Thursday?
How long do you clap
A
for?
couple of minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes. God, you must be exhausted.
Well, no, it's well.
Do you warm up before? Do you
Do you
warm
go
up?
out and clap?
We go out and clap, and then
How many people clap down your street?
All the road, all the whole.
See, the
we don't have so many, do we?
We have like a couple. We have like.
No, they all do down my road.
We have,
We
yeah.
sing happy
We have, like-
birthday if someone's birthday.
Yeah, we have
Things
like
that.
4 people.
So,
out on
as you've
down
heard
there.
then, so Nanny Tish has got a big night. I'll just remind you that Nanny Tish. She's got a big night tonight. She's got to. What, you got to get the dog's dinner. Got to get your dinner.
So
and you've got to clap.
What's Betsy? So just to let you know, Betsy has chicken for her dinner.
Yeah.
Because Nan doesn't think that she'd eat the normal dog food.
No, can't eat normal dog food. Not for that dog.
No,
Special.
No, because she had a special operation.
Oh, she had a special operation.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So what happened was she had a special operation to sort her throat out.
a couple of days that Nan got Betsy, she had a problem with her swallow or something. Nan, didn't she?
Yeah.
We've all had that.
When you got,
Although you haven't.
you had to give her back to
Oh, I
her
tell you what we need to talk about.
breeder, didn't you?
Before we go back onto the dog's gullet, Nanny did say that she gave me permission to talk about the fact that, because I rang the other day and said, oh, have you slept all right? Because normally I ring Mum and she sort of goes, oh, morning, it might be about 11 o'clock, absolutely knackered. Oh, I went back to sleep with the dog, so I don't like to ring too early. Like, she gets up, gets in the chair, falls asleep again, right? Anyway, the other day she went, yeah, I've been down the hospital. I've been down the hospital, been down there since 7:30. Anyway, she had to go and have a little test.
Which we didn't know about.
We didn't know about, but the fact was, she's still smarting from it actually, because before she knew it, she had her legs in a pair of stirrups. So the woman said to you, she said, this might hurt a bit. She said, this might hurt a bit. She said, no, I presume because of coronavirus, she hasn't had much action for a while. Rude. How does she know? Anyway, so Mum's actually, so the peddling's going to be a trouble in it, because you're still holding your hip. Like you sort of drag one leg now.
Yes.
You drag one leg like, oh, Joe.
Well,
She was
people
brutal.
Tell me,
She had 2 people to help you do what?
put my legs up.
Put your legs up. So
You
you
had 2 people. But, oh
what,
my
you had
God.
one person per leg. In stirrups. That is gold. And when Mum had an operation a couple of years ago, it was ladies' business. And anyway, so we went and everything, and I went with Mum and the consultant, and I went in and there was a screen. I thought they were going to show Homes Under the Hammer, you know, like dentists do. I thought they were going to show like, something calming so Mum could look at the screen. And it turns out to be Mum's cervix. And he said, would you like a photograph of it? I said, actually, have you got the DVD? I quite like the DVD of this. So yeah, but that was
the only reason Nan didn't tell us that she was going to the hospital is because she didn't want Mum to worry.
No, I didn't want you to worry.
Well, you won't be doing that again because you'll be more worried about your health and safety of me finding that out next time.
Yeah,
And I think the thing is now we're actually out of time because we're going overtime, right? So what we're going to do, Beth, now you're going to have to lean in but not show us all the way down your cleavage, and that's it. So we'll say, so Nanny, can you say goodbye?
Bye.
That was our socially distanced first episode.
Bye.
Love you, stay clean and stay wet wiped. And
Stay safe.
I'll update you with the stirrups another time. Bye.
Bye.